Good morning, students. Let us start with the next lecture, that is the shapes of 1s and 2s orbital, or rather shapes of atomic orbitals. Now, the probability of finding an electron at a given point of time, at a given point in atom, it is proportional to the square of the wave function. So, wave function, which is denoted as psi square. So we did not go into the much details about this psi function, remember. Now we are much more interested in the shape of 1s and 2s orbitals. Now this 1s orbital, you can draw this way, which is spherical in shape, okay? And this is a 1s, a little bigger than this, you can draw. This will be 2s orbital, is 1s and 2s, which is spherical in shape, okay? Now the boundary surface is drawn in the space for the for an orbital such that the value of probability density, as I told, that is a psi square. This is the probability density. It is constant and it encloses a region where the probability of finding the electron in the shape of the orbital, it is very much dependent on the probability of finding the electron in that particular region. So probability of finding electron, it is typically more than 90% in this region. So that is why it was assumed that the shape of this 1s and 2s orbital, it is assumed as a spherical one. So this shape is very much dependent on the probability of finding the electron. So this is denoted by the psi square. Now it means that the electron is located away from the nucleus as the principal quantum number, that is n, increases. Means if this is the nucleus, is this is the first shell, this is the second shell. So the probability of finding the electron, it will it will be located away from the nucleus. Means if the electron, it belongs to the first shell, it will be rather this is the first shell, it will be quite nearer to this nucleus. If the electron is located in here in the next shell, so obviously this will be away from the nucleus. Means as the probability of finding the electron, it will be away from the nucleus as you go on increasing the number of shells surrounding the nucleus. It means that, okay? So accordingly the shapes are assumed, or they are rather hypothetically determined. So this is spherical in shape, means s orbital, they are always spherical in shape. What about the 2p orbitals? 2p orbitals. So each p orbital has two lobes on the two sides of the nodal plane. So what is this nodal plane? Nodal plane, that is the uh, point actually where the probability of the finding the electron is least. Okay. So this p shape of this p orbit, 2p orbital, you can write there are three orbitals, that is 2px, 2py, and 2pz. Okay. So I'll try to draw the shapes of those. This is x orbital, x axis, sorry, x axis. This is your z axis, and this is your y axis. Okay. So the lobes are like this. You can draw the shape of this 2px orbital in this manner. So this is your nodal plane. This point, this is called as the nodal plane. Okay. Now for this 2py, 2px means the lobes, those are passing to this x-axis. That is why it is denoted as 2px. Obviously, so you can write x, y, and z axis. Okay. So this is your z, this is your x, and this is your y. Now So if you are calling this as a 2py orbital, so the lobe should pass to the y-axis this way. Okay, so this will be the nodal plane. Actually, it should be here, somewhat here. Okay. Now you can draw similarly on these lines. You can draw the shape of this 2pz also. So this is your z-axis. So this is your x, and this is your y. So the lobes, those should pass through the z-axis. So you can draw this way. This is your 2pz, and this is your nodal plane. So each p orbital, it has got two lobes on the two sides of the nodal plane. This is one lobe, this is the one lobe, this is the another lobe passing through the nucleus. And the size and the energy of this dumbbell shape three 2p orbitals are same, and their orientation in the space are different. Means if you view the 3D view of this, if you try to visualize the 3D view of this x, y, and z axis, so you will be able to find that this is the lobe. These are the two lobes, this one and this one. These are passing through this x-axis. These two are passing through the y-axis, and these two, they are passing through the z-axis. So many a times the question is asked to draw the shapes of 2p orbitals. So you should be able to name them correctly. This orbital or this axis should be named. Everything should be labeled here. Then only you'll get the marks for this. Now for this 2px, what are the values for this quantum numbers? For this 2px, it will be n will be equal to 2. This is 2. Okay. L, since this is a p orbital, so L will be equal to 1 here. Okay. And for this m, it would be it would have three values, that is -1, 0, and +1. So it is very much clear from this that this is -1, 0, and +1. Means you can call this as a 2px, you can call this as a 2py, and you can call this as a 2pz. So it is very much clear that whenever magnetic quantum number, the values are 3. So in this way, this p orbital, it is further divided into three suborbitals, that is 2px, 2py, and 2pz. So this value for m, it signifies the number of suborbitals for the particular orbital. Okay. So the next is we will proceed for the n plus L rule. That is n plus L rule. This is also an important concept, n plus L rule. So what is this? The orbitals with same energy. So before we proceed for this n plus L rule, we must know what is degenerate orbital. So degenerate orbitals are those are called as these are the orbitals with the same energy, with the same energy. Okay. Means 2s and 2p. These are the degenerate orbitals with the same quantum number. Okay. Now, in multi-electron atoms, there is a mutual repulsion among the electrons because the charges on the electrons are same. They are having the negative charges, so obviously there will be repulsion in multi-electron atoms. So here you should apply the n plus L rule. So what does it mean actually? The lower of sum of the n plus L for an orbital, so lower is its energy. Means if you add the values for n and L together, if it has got the lower value, it will have lower energy. Yeah, I'll try to explain this with example also. If the two orbitals have the same n plus L value, okay, then the orbital with the lower value of n, it will have the lower energy, and this is called the n plus L rule. So I'll explain this with example first. If you take orbital like 2p and 3s. Now what is the value for n here? It is equal to 2, isn't it? Since it is a p orbital, so L will be equal to 1. So you should be very much clear with the L values. L will be equal to 0, then S orbital. L will be equal to 1, then P orbital. L will be equal to 2, then D orbital. L will be equal to 3 means F orbital. Remember, this at this point of time, you should be very much aware of this. Now looking at this, what is the value for N? N will be equal to 3. Since this is S, so L will be equal to 0. Okay. So what is the value for N plus L here for both the things? That is 3 plus 0 equal to 0 and 2 plus 1 equal to 0. So in both the cases, N plus L value is 0. So which orbital will have the higher energy? The one with the higher value for N. Here N equal to 3 and here N equal to 2. So this 3s orbital will have higher energy. So why do we know, why do we are supposed to know which one will have the higher energy and which one will have the lower energy? While writing the electronic configuration, which orbital should be filled first, whether 2s or whether 2p or 3s, this should be very clear to you. So the one with the lower energy will be filled first and then we'll go to the orbital with the higher energy. So if the situation is like this, that is N plus value is equal to 3 in both the cases, in 3s and for 2p also. If N plus L equal to 3, so in such cases, this 3s will have higher energy because the one with the more number or higher number of principal quantum number, then that will have the higher energy. And this is called as the N plus L. Okay. I'll quote one more example here somewhere here, like 3p and 4s. Now you'll be easily able to find the values for N. N will be equal to 3. This is 3. And since this is a p orbital, so L will be equal to 1. For this 4s, N will be equal to 4 and L will be equal to 0. So in both these cases, what is the value for N plus L? It is 4. So which one will have the higher energy in this case? This 4s will be having higher energy because this principal quantum number here it is higher than this one. Okay. Now this next you can quote another example for this like 4p and 3d. So whenever it is a 4p means N will be equal to 4 and L will be equal to 1. Isn't it? For this N will be equal to 3 and L will be equal to 2. So in both the cases N plus L value it is found out to be 5. So which one will be having higher energy? This one. So this orbital will be having higher energy compared to this because N is having the lower value for this, whereas N is having higher value. So the one with the higher value for N, that is principal quantum number, that orbital will have the higher energy. So this is called as the N plus L rule. So this is important when you write the electronic configuration. Now we come to the very important concept, that is above principle. So above principle, above, it is a German word, above principle. It is a German word which means that is the building up. Okay. So you should be able to draw this diagram without referring to the textbook on your own. So this will give you idea how do we write the electronic configuration. So increasing or order of orbital energy. So though these orbitals are arranged with the increasing order. So I'll try to draw the diagram for this. You just follow this method and try to draw on your own. This is very important. 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. So you note them as 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s and 7. Now exactly in front of this 2, you just draw 2p, 3p, 4p, 5p, 6p and 7. Okay, so you number them as 2p, 3p, 4p, 5p, 6p and 7. Now there is no 3d orbital because we know that depending on the value of L, it is not possible to have this 2d orbital. So you start from D. For the d orbital, you always start from 3. So exactly in front of this, you draw a circle for this 3d, then 4d. Here you write 5d, then 6. Okay. Then there is no 3f orbital, remember. So you start for this f orbital from 4f, 5f, and 6. Okay. So first you draw this way, and then we start filling of these orbitals. So this, you just start from this 1s. So you just draw this way. Okay. Now I'll show this with the dotted line. Go back this way. Okay. Then come back here. Then after this 1s, you will be filling the orbital, that is 2s. Then again go back with the dotted line. Then come back with the thick line. So after this 1s, then 2s, then 2p. Then after this 2p, what comes in between? That is 3s. Then go straight away without any disturbance, just go up. Then come down. After this 3s, there will be 3p. After this 3p, there will be 4s. Okay. So have you understood this? So while feeling this, you just, wherever I drew this thick line, you follow this path. Okay. Then go with the dotted line. Just go with the dotted line. There should be nothing in the, nothing should come in between this dotted lines. Just come down with the thick line, with this thick line. Okay. Now we reach up to this 4s. Now again from this 4s, we just go with the dotted line. Nothing should come in between this dotted line. Remember. After this 4s, come down. So what comes in between? The path, your path, that is 3d. After this 3d, here comes 4p. Okay. After this 4p, what comes? Here it is 5s. So there should be no confusion in drawing this. You reach up to this 5s. Now again go up without any restriction in the path. Just go up. Okay. Now this 5s, what should be there? Come down. What comes in between your path? That is 4d. After this 4d, that is 5p. Okay. Then after this 5p, what comes? Then 6p. And then after this 6s, you just go up with this dotted line. Nothing should come in between. Then start from here. Then comes 6x, that is 4f. 4f, then comes 5d, then 6p, isn't it? Then 7s. Now again you start from here. Just go up with the dotted line. Nothing should be in between. Then come down. 5f, then 6d, then 7p. Okay. Then again you go up with the dotted line. Nothing should be in between your path. Then 6f, and so on. Okay. So this is the way you try to write the electronic configuration. So this diagram will give you the increasing order of orbital energy. So those, when you write the electronic configuration for any element with any particular atomic number, you just start with 1s. After this 1 on, what will come? 2s. Then what is there? 2p. Then 3s. After this 3s, you just go through this 3p. Then 4s. After this 4s, go up. There will be 3d. After this 3d, 4p. Then 5s, and so on. So you just follow this path. This is very important. So when you start from here, What should be the next one that you should be very easily able to understand? That is very important while writing down the electronic configuration. You follow this diagram. So there will be no difficulty in writing the electronic configuration. Okay. So in the next lecture, we'll talk about the Pauli's exclusion principle, Hund's rule. Some people call it as a Hund's rule also. Both pronunciation are correct. So we'll stop here. We just have the practice of drawing this diagram, which is very important. Then we'll try to write down the electronic configuration. Thank you.